How's it going, folks? Marty is here with you. It's Friday night. We're gonna have a beer together, or two. I've got a stack of records I'd like to get through with you guys. I may have already had a couple beers, but we'll have a couple more. Thanks a lot for checking out this channel. Sticking with me as we forge through this stack of records. In the background, really, if you don't own this album and you like, power metal, heavy metal, you really need to change your tune a little bit and get this record. Gamma Rays, Land of the Free. Kai Hansen broke away from Helloween and started his own thing, Gamma Ray. And the first few albums are good. It's got Ralph Shepplers from who went on to be in Primal Fear singing. And yeah, he's a great vocalist, but really what we all wanted was Kai singing again. And he rules. And this album fucking rules. This album is power metal classic. It's a modern power / heavy metal with Queen influences, which, I could take or leave Queen, but great album. Good beer drinking music. Whether that was their intention or not, hey, that's how I'm doing it. Air guitar and headbanging. That's what this album's all about. And also, yes, if you jumped ship from me and went over and subscribed to my friend Ben Brain Smasher's YouTube channel where he's talking about his CDs and other music, thank you. That was nice of you. He's doing a great job. He's really crushing the videos, and his shit is awesome. He has quickly became my favorite YouTuber. But anyway, blah, blah, blah. On with the albums. I got a big stack because I didn't know how quick I was going to go through these. First up, Perdition Temple, Gene Pavlicki, Gene Pavlicki from Angel Corpse fame. He has teamed up with the guy from, I want to say Black Witchery singing, Impurith. That's probably about right. Comes with a poster. Vocally, this album is kind of boring. Musically, it's pretty chaotic. There's some really great Morbid Angel-esque riffs that only Gene is known for. It's a good album. This is like a chaos splatter, half and half splatter, swirl thing. Slightly warped, so just the way we like them. Oh, also Bill Taylor from Angel Corpse is in this band as well. A couple other dudes who I have no idea who they are. This is a good album. Do I prefer old Angel Corpse? Yes. But this is good, chaotic, brutal death metal for fans of, if you like your stuff warring, then yeah, you'll probably dig this album. I also have a 7-inch. Sorry, I guess I've had a few beers. That's the way it's gonna go. Next up, Pentagram. Day of Reckoning. I got this. I saved this from WNMC, and whoever had this didn't like it. In fact, wrote a rating on the front: 1.5 stars. This LP is ultimately boring. It could never stand up to a metal show. It's slow, psychedelic, 60s acid rock, like old Sabbath. Yuck. I'm not kidding you. Like, old Sabbath is a bad thing? Seriously. Well, yeah, this is which would have been a, I don't even know what the record. Honestly, I could somewhat agree with the assessment, other than the Sabbath assessment, because Pentagram has never really been a favorite of mine. I saved this record. I keep hanging on to it. Think I'm going to come back and like it. Hasn't happened yet. But to say that old Sabbath is yuck, they're fucking retarded. We all, I think, can agree to that. Gamma Ray, Kai Hansen. Moving on. I love this mini LP or whatever the hell it is. Pitch Shifter, Submit. This is their second release. The first being Industrial. English band, very much sucking at the ample teats of old Godflesh. And it's a good thing. Drum machine, mechanized, samples, but Pitch Shifter ended up doing their own thing with it. And after this album, to be completely honest, they kind of took a shit for me. But Industrial and this album are fantastic, and you should definitely check them out. Love this record. I shouldn't probably have put this on while I'm talking about other records, because all I want to do is drink beer and listen to Gamma Ray right now. But anyway, we're going to get through this. Moving on. Postmortem, The Missing Link, without a cover. It's a radio promo. Postmortem, I believe, were a U.S. band on New Renaissance Records. Very kind of silly, kind of hardcore, kind of thrash mixed together. Been 1,000 years since I've listened to this, but when I was younger, it had a somewhat solid spot in my rotation because I didn't have as much stuff to rotate back then. So you took what you had and you listened to the fuck out of it. Next up, Portrait. High Roller Records release. This is like a cutout picture disc with an insert thing. Ultimately, I got this because they were coined as being influenced by Merciful Fate, which, you know, you got my attention if you're going to say Merciful Fate riffs. But I think this album kind of sucks. And if you are interested in Portrait and you would like this really cool picture disc package thing, hit me up. Let's do a trade. Their album after this, I can't remember the name of it, is much better. This is just kind of sloppy to me. Not a big fan. This I've showed before. Prophecy of Doom, English crust, grind / metal. I've shown it before. I'm not going to take it out. Really great, actually, and it's spearheaded me in trying to find the rest of their stuff on vinyl, which I think there's like a Peel Sessions and there was a split with Axe Grinder, which I used to have Rise of the Serpent Men, and got rid of it and sold it for a shit ton of money, but now I kind of regret it. Moving on, a band I used to listen to quite a bit in my younger years, Prong. This is Third from the Sun, 12-inch. A couple different versions of Third from the Sun and Mind Gap, which is, I don't know, it's on Peugeot Records. Not going to talk too much about this. Cleansing, I think, was a great album. Beg to Differ at the time I thought was a great album. A little repetitive, but still good. I liked it. Moving on, what is this? Oh yeah, Queensryche, Rage for Order. Was never a fan of Queensryche, to be completely honest. And I randomly picked this up at our local record store for cheap. And last year, I guess. And I loved it. I listened to it a lot. Is this a sign of me getting old? Yeah, probably. But, because I am old. But this is a good album. Good pure vocals. Good heavy metal. Before they started doing, you know, Jet City Woman and all the commercial stuff. Am I going to go and scour the earth for all their albums now because I like this album? No. I'm not. But I have it, and when I get that itch for some Halford-esque screams, I'm grabbing that record, man. That's the way it's going down. Next up, Rage, Perfect Man, German heavy metal band. This was, you know, obtained when I was younger. I bought everything that was on Noise International Records, good or bad, up until a point where it started all becoming piss poor. But, you know, you had the Creators, the Voivods, the Corners, the Sabbats, all that good shit was on Noise International. And Rage was always on the Noise comps, the Doomsday News stuff, and I liked the songs. And then I would go and pick up a full album and I'd be a little underwhelmed by the whole thing. But yet I have this, and I've kept this. This is my second copy of this, actually. I used to have it. I sold it for a pretty good chunk of money. Found it again in another record store. Bought it again, and I'm going to hang on to this one because there is some good shit on here. Don't Fear the Winter. It's a great song. Good chorus that you will... And I'm thinking about it. It's already in my head, but I can't go there because I'm listening to Gamma Ray. And that's the way it's going to roll. You thirsty? Have a beer with me. Come on. My birthday's tomorrow. At least you could do is have a beer with me today. Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. Why do I have these? Because it's got Ronnie James Dio on vocals. And if it's got Ronnie James Dio on vocals, that means it's fucking awesome. And I think this is the first one with Dio on it. Him singing on it after he left Elf. Good album, but this is a great album. Long live rock and roll. Oh man, Gates of Babylon. Holy shitballs! That album, this song rules. Long live rock and roll. Kill the King. Great record. And this is in perfect shape. Gatefold. Long live rock and roll. Awesome band. Awesome singer. And of course we go to this fucking monster. Rainbow Rising. Terra Woman. Run with the Wolf. Starstruck. Don't Close Your Eyes. Do you close your eyes? Stargazer. Oh, fucking awesome. Stargazer. Ronnie James Dio at his best. Of course, he was never bad. If you are a Dio fan or a Sabbath fan and you don't own the Dio-led Rainbow records, next time you're at a record show or in a used bin in a record shop and you see these sheep, get it. You will not regret it. Good shit. Rainbow on Stage. You know, this is the Dio era. Singing stuff from the Rising era. But there's also Mistreated, which is the purple cover. Pretty cool. Next up, Raven, Rock Till You Drop. I know a lot of people that are blown away by Raven. I like Raven. Do I ever listen to Raven? No. Which is too bad, because these early albums, Rock Till You Drop, Wiped Out, excuse me, All for One, are all good new wave of British heavy metal inspired with their own metal kick. Really good stuff. As they got on with it, they got a little more commercial. The Pack is Back, Stay Hard. Those albums aren't very good, and they are in abundance. You can go to any record store across the U.S. and find the record in the used bin. I guarantee you will find them fucking shitty Raven records in the bin. Ignore those. Those three I just showed you are much better. And here is the live. Very cool. This is a completely shit-on drilled promo I got in a used bin at Camelot Records. And it's in rough shape. But, see, it's all stuck together and ripped and shit. I don't know how something that was sealed. It must have got wet or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Classic Canadian awesomeness. Razor, Executioner song. Chainsaw guitars. Great sharp vocals. Great metal band. And, you know, you don't hear the Canadian bands from this early 80s era. This is 85, Roadrunner Records and Viper. You don't hear these guys talked about that much. And it's just good metal. These two are my favorites, and these are both radio promos. Malicious Intent and Evil Invaders. Good shit. Evil Invaders had the video for Evil Invaders, which was pretty killer. I used to play it on Much Music back in the day, which my family had a satellite dish, so I got to see that shit when I was younger. It was awesome. It was a good video channel. Of course, I guess MTV was decent during its time as well, but great Canadian thrash / heavy metal, and you should definitely check this stuff out if you get a chance. Next up is a drink of some Newcastle. Just as I remembered it, delicious. Next up is a band from a friend of mine who I have been in a band with before named Charnel Valley, but this is his other band with his friend Jeff Harriet, otherwise known as Hefe. Realm Builder, this is Summon the Stone Throwers. This is the band's first album. And, how do you explain this record? How do you explain these guys? It's very unique. Inspired by cult metal, inspired by true metal, stuff like Dark Quarter and Manila Road is where these guys gleaned all of their inspiration from. But it doesn't really, even though it's in that genre, in that vein, it does not sound like either of those two bands. But it's weird. They have like this weird doomy vibe to it, which I love, and when that comes through, that's when they're at their best. And this is a good record, but Zahler had not found his vocal style / range yet. So, very cool record, but there's some vocal strains, which I can overlook because I know and love the guy. Don't tell him I said that. Next up is their second album, Fortifications of the Pale Architect. This album, Craig got the vocal thing figured out, and he came into his own. He came into his own on this record. Well, it starts off with the track "Highwayman," which is just a hard rockin' song, and there he is, looking tough, like he smells something bad. Love it. This album is great, and there is a song on this album called "The Stars Disappeared from the Sky When We Uncovered the Bones of the First Gods." Fucking awesome song, and it's one of those songs that I have it on my iPod. When it's done playing on the iPod, I end up backing that song up and listening to it like 5 times in a row. It's great. And I actually have their third album out in the other room, but have I shown that? Probably not, but we'll get to that soon. If you're feeling adventurous and you like stuff like Dark Quarter and you like stuff like Manila Road, these guys are barking up the same tree. Give them a chance. It's something different. It's good shit. You will not be disappointed. And I think this is recording. It is recording. Good. That'd have been funny. Next up, some Finnish traditional doom in the vein of Reverend Bazaar. This is Return to the Rectory. This is a 2 LP set. I'm not in the mood for this a lot, but when I am, Reverend Bazaar hits the spot, man. They're incredibly weird, very strange lyrics, sometimes funny, sometimes creepy, but this band, excellent traditional doom that sound like no one else. They don't sound like Sabbath. They don't sound like Cathedral. They don't sound like, name whoever, Sabbath. They don't sound, did I say Sabbath? I don't know. But these guys don't sound like anyone. They sound like Reverend Bazaar. And, yeah, it's upside down. Am I holding the record upside down? I don't know. I might be. Gatefold, 2 LP set, and then there is a booklet in here, yes. This is Spart Records. Us Finns are a little strange, and Reverend Bazaar embraces all that is strange in Finnish so perfectly, as far as I'm concerned. This is a great record, and they have the, one of these has a Burzum cover. It might be the next one. If I can get this back in. Yeah, I'm going to make you watch me again. Get in there, bitch. Next is Harbinger of Metal, Reverend Bazaar. I don't have all the Reverend Bazaar stuff. I'm going to get it eventually. All sorts of shit in this one. Booklet. Lyrics. A bunch of lyrics. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, it's a poster. Big poster. Kind of cool. Again, great doom. If you're in the mood for something a little strange. Give these guys a listen on YouTube before you get going real crazy. I paid way too much money for these records, to be honest with you. Way too much money. They're super nice though. Gatefolds. Both of them are like, excuse me, gold foil. That would have been the end of this, but I thankfully grabbed another stack of records since we're just kind of blazing through these. Next up is the German band. Out of the Ashes of Naglfar with an E is the Ruins of Beverast. This is Unlock the Shrine. Dark, polluted, evil, strange, but in a good way. In a lot of ways sounds like Naglfar, but maybe a little bit more black metal influenced on this early stuff. Very cool. This is on Van Records. Gatefold? No. 2 LPs stuffed in a jacket. I think it's just black. Printed inserts. Good stuff. And it's, you know, this stuff is a challenge. This band is a challenge to listen to in a good way. It's heady, dark, twisted, and again, you know, avant-garde and interesting. Blackened death metal. There's all of these styles congealing together on it. Oh, look. It's time for another beer. Cheers. Next up, another Ruins of Beverast. I've shown this before. Enchanted by Gravemold. On Van, I'm not even going to take it out because I have shown it in an earlier video. This is like a mix of... This isn't an album proper. This is a compilation of other odds and ends stuff. I don't have all of them on vinyl, but I do have the latest. I can't remember the name of it. Blood Vaults. The Blazing Gospel of Henrik Kramer. Absolutely killer record. Awesome artwork. Super thick jacket. Super nice gatefold. Is there a booklet? There might be. Nope. Printed inserts. I mean, these guys have gotten nothing but better as they go. And I would recommend you hunt the stuff down and check it out. And also, check out the band that inspired this band, Naglfar. Holy crap. 3 albums. All of them are great. I mean, that's it. What more can you say than that? Next up is a great record. Running Wild, Gates to Purgatory. German, classic, heavy metal with a satanic theme spun throughout all the tracks. You got Preacher, Soldiers of Hell, Victim of State's Power and Force. That is like their, is that their thing? I don't know. Genghis Khan, instead of Genghis, it's Genghis. All the G's are J's on this album. It's pretty hilarious, but really like this album. Great heavy metal record. First 2 albums, this and Branded in Exile, are great, and they went on to the Pirate thing afterwards, which back in the day I really didn't care for, but since then, there's no denying how great the riffs are. I can't remember the dude's name. Rock and Rolf. You know, sometimes you have a child, you look at your child, your son, you're like, you look like a Steve, or you look like a Doug. But no, his mom and dad looked at this young baby and said, you look like Rock and Rolf. Fuck yeah, Rock and Rolf it is. And he came and he brought the thunderous pirate riffs, which started on this one under Jolly Roger, which is a WNMC Records promo, and of course they wrote all over the fucking thing and ripped the shit out of it. I don't love this record. I like albums after this much better, but you know, you gotta start somewhere, and it's a good record. These albums, on the other hand, are fucking awesome. Sabbat, History of a Time to Come. Wow. Great English thrash, heavy metal. So has a shrink on it. Martin Walker on vocals. He's like an insane poet. He twists words' meanings into other things. He did it a lot with Skyclad, which is the band that formed out of Sabbat. But this is great. Very satanic. He didn't really embrace the pagan stuff until later. This is the first album. It's really good. Next up is the very... Wow, this next album, there is a lot of lyrics on this next album. Dreamweaver. Oh, such a great cover. Such a great album. The music is great. Martin Plaster. This is a concept album. It's I used to be able to tell you what the story meant. When Christian meets the pagan type story, going on a trip together. Great record. One of my favorites from the era, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's a lot of words being said, but the singing, in spite of that, is very powerful. The phrases are very poignant. The album after this, Morning Has Broken, Martin left the band, formed Skyclad, and they got this heavy metal singer dude that it sucked. It wasn't very good. And last for this update, which is now almost 30 minutes long. I'm sorry. But this is a classic of Swedish darkness and amazingness. This is Sacramentum's Far Away from the Sun. Wow. I mean, this could be the companion to Dissection's Somberlane or Storm of the Light's Bane. It is the same style of black / death and black. It's more black metal, but the melodies are so dark. The playing is so spot on, and the songs are so powerful. This is just a classic from the era, and what era was this? I can't remember what year this came out. This is the 2013 reissue, which is great. They did a great job on it. Century Media definitely stepped up to the plate. It was in the 90s, mid-90s. Comes with an insert, all the lyrics, and a big write-up by Oliver Zoltar Badin, who I think writes for somebody, but this was recorded at Unisound, which is Swano's studio before it became, well, that's what it became, in 95. So yeah, middle 90s. Amazing melodies, amazing playing. This album is a classic, and it's so good. The band before the album before this and the albums that came after this were all good, but not this good. And it's really hard. It's almost good that they broke up, because it's really hard to come back from writing an album this good. And I'm amazed that Dissection did it after the Somberlane, and he didn't do it again after Storm of the Light's Bane, because Reign in Chaos is crap. I have friends that like that album. I don't get it. It is not good. But that's my Friday night drunken ramblings. Sorry. You got me feeling pretty good tonight. And thanks for having a beer with me. Thanks for listening to my ramblings. And go listen to Gamma Ray's Land of the Free.